Willow Creek Springs presents Healthy Living with your host, Joe Grumbine.
Well, hello, and welcome back to the Healthy Living Podcast. I'm your host, Joe Grumbine, and today I've got a really special guest. Her name is Adonai Flores. And most of the time when I have guests here, these are either people that have approached me to participate in the podcast, or it may be people that I know that I've worked with. But this is actually somebody that I'm working directly with the program, and I'm kind of excited to share this. So Adonai Flores, she's a naturopathy practitioner and co-founder of Herbs We Love. And this year, 2025, she began a collaboration with Willow Creek Springs, my company. After researching the family-owned company's wellness products and finding them to be superior in quality and more affordable than similar products on the market, and out of this collaboration, she came up with a program that we're calling 30 Days of Compassion. And this campaign is created as a way to embody and communicate the heart of the products. And the initiative later expanded into 30 Days of Self-Compassion, designed to inspire daily acts of self-love and intentional living. Each compassionate bundle includes the 30 Days of Compassion Pledge, a 30-day self-love exercise calendar, and a self-love certificate. Adonai, welcome.
Hi, thank you.
So you and I have been working together. Well, we started talking maybe about 6 months ago or so,
Yes.
and we have a friend in common, and I have an aunt that is also working with you, and we've been working together on a program or project that is involved inside the prison system. And I've been working with prison outreach for 20 years with my Human Solution International, but since that got put aside to other things, and I've started really building this community of healthy living, I was really touched when you guys reached out, because I've always had a spot for the people that are compromised. And when you talk about people in prison, a lot of times we just kind of turn our nose and say, well, these are bad people, they're getting what they deserve, and
Yeah.
we don't realize the truth about all of this. And yeah, there's some bad people getting what they deserve in there, and there's also a lot of other folks doing a lot of other things. And regardless of what got you in there, one of the things we were talking with your uh, partner friend Megan last week about this, and regardless of what got you in there, a prison's supposed to be a place that you can help to get a new start, fix your problem, and become a better human being. And more often than not, it doesn't do that.
Yeah.
So
Sadly not.
why don't you tell us a little bit about what you've been doing? And then I'm excited to start talking about the 30 Days of Compassion program.
Yes. So I've been working closely with you, Jay Wells, your aunt, really just trying to empower and inspire people. One, to better themselves. Two, to just be good citizens in society and make the world just a better place in just in all, with our TMT, our trauma music therapy, 40 songs and a mic, Herbs We Love, just all of it. They all have about the same mission, just like bring good into the world and try to change the world a little bit at a time.
Why don't you tell us a little bit about the trauma music therapy program? I was looking at that through the notes, and I'm not really familiar with what you guys are doing, but its name would suggest that it's right in the line with the things we're already doing.
Right, yeah, definitely. So trauma music therapy is a trauma informed program. We're trying to get it into possibly a nonprofit. Um, but basically, we're just on there. We're educating about trauma, and it ties into a lot of stuff. Trauma could just be like underline a lot of things: addiction, people that are incarcerated, um, just a lot of things. So we're trying to just trauma inform people, which inform people about trauma, educate, and then through music. So Jay Wells does do a lot of music. He has a trauma-informed album. So we're really trying to just push that and help people heal through music. Um, I know a lot of people, that's one thing that brings the world together is music. So, and healing is very big in music,
Oh,
with
absolutely.
illness, health, and trauma, mental, physical, everything. So we're mainly just focusing on that. We did have that, both trauma and um, gospel inside just 40 songs in a mic, but we decided to split it up
Okay.
just so we can have two different audiences, and it's been working well. So
Nice.
we have the trauma informed community over there, and then gospel to another side, because not a lot of people like to mix the two. So we just split
Right.
it up basically.
No, that's good. The more audience you can get, the better chance you have. And like you're saying, music is kind of a universal language. We did a ceremony retreat over the weekend, and they brought a lot of music into it. And that was the first time I'd sat in a experience like that with all the music. And I thought, it's really the language that everybody can understand. It doesn't matter
Yeah.
what language you speak, what language the words are in, the music is a universal language. And I think trauma is also a universal experience. We think about trauma, and some people think, oh, well, if you weren't raped, you don't know trauma. And it's like, well, trust me, I wasn't raped, but I've gone through some trauma, and it comes in every shape, size, form. It could be mental, it can be from the system, it can be physical, it can be spiritual, it could be, I mean, anytime you're attacked uh,
Mm.
in any way, mind, body, spirit, it's a traumatic event, and how you handle it is one thing, but what does it do to you? And there's a whole nother piece of nobody ever comes out of a trauma the same way they went into it, regardless of what it looked like on the surface.
Yeah.
I think we all have that in common. So when we're looking to bring people together, there's not a lot of things really that everybody has in common, aside from, we're all humans, and we're all born of a mother and a father, and there's a handful of things that you could say, all right, everybody fits into that box. But trauma, I don't think there's a person alive that says, oh, I've never experienced trauma. So let's get into let's introduce Jay Wells, because he's a part of this. And I know that I think you might be locked out. And if you are, try turning your camera off for a second, because I don't see you moving and I don't hear you right now. But give yourself a chance to come back in. But Jay Wells is a guy who is, we have all this in common. And my aunt is actually working inside the prison system, uh, because I have a cousin who is currently incarcerated, and she's helping him with this case and a lot of things. And apparently, my cousin and this guy Jay connected, and I'm not really quite sure, how they got together. But Jay's doing a lot of work inside the system, and he is working on a program for a garden program that's going to be working with my Gardens of Hope. And through all that, he introduced me to Adonai, and we began working on this program.
Okay.
All right, Adonai's back with us, and we didn't really lose anything. So let's keep going, talking about the trauma music therapy. Hi, this is Joe Grumbine, and I wanted to share an update. The platform that hosts this podcast has made some changes to the subscriber settings, and we have a number of subscriber-only episodes that we offer to the supporters. And for a minimum of $3 a month, we can get you signed up. And if you're already signed up and you're having some kind of trouble locating these episodes in the other platforms, I would say maybe the best answer is to unsubscribe and then resubscribe. I'm sorry for the hassle. I don't have any way to make a change, but I'm very grateful for all the support. Thank you.
Yes, we just hope just bring the community together, and something like how you said, just that's universal, trauma and music. And really we're really striving just to heal our communities, underserved and incarcerated communities, and just try to bring just a sense of humanity back to the world. Just like all of the other programs, like um the one that Megan shared with you, her empathy in action, and
Right.
um, hopefully you get to meet Fritzy soon with her Compassion Prison Project. But all of those programs, we're just striving to be basically like them, and just bring the community back together and bring humanity back.
Yeah, we're talking about with Gardens of Hope, working on a garden program in there. So as I'm trying to rebuild myself a little bit, then I'll be able to put some attention at that. Well, why don't you tell me about what brought the idea of the 30 days of self-compassion and the 30 days of compassion and then ultimately the 30 days of self-compassion. How what what's the genesis of that? How did you come up with that idea?
Yeah, definitely. So we just wanted to really get something that, like, come up with a campaign that embodied the products and what we're doing and everything, all of the like the things that we have, the projects that we have, trauma music therapy, 40 songs in a mic, herbs we love. Um, and first it started out as trying to raise funds for Compassion Prison Project, because so many great programs out there, they're struggling, and I'm sure you know they're
Oh
struggling with
yeah.
funds. And they're just trying to bring healing to the world. So we wanted to do 30 days of compassion, raise funds for Fritzy, um, with the Compassion Prison Project. She is tied up with a lot of stuff right now. So it later evolved into the 30 days of self compassion, just to kind of keep it alive. And we thought, you can't have compassion for others unless you have compassion for yourself.
That's
So,
huge. That's actually, when you came up with that, I thought about it, and it's like in the work that I do with, plant medicine and ceremonies and retreats and things, a lot of the work that we do is about self-compassion, self-love. We go through life, you know, raised a certain way, taught about certain things. And, men and women have different ways that they communicate and everything. But most people, especially I think good people, we tend to put ourselves second and we help other people, more easily. And we put ourselves and say, well, I'll get to that later. Let me go do this thing that's needed. And then after a while, something happens, like, you get sick or you have a breakdown, or, in my case, I got a cancer, and I think there's no small piece of that come from setting yourself as secondary. And I know with me in the work I've worked with medicine people and prayer and just working on myself, trying to heal myself and be a better person, that came up as, you will, let's look at yourself now and recognize, who you are and honor yourself, and to realize that, you really can't love somebody else if you're putting yourself up on a shelf somewhere. You think you
definitely.
do, but really it's empty, and
Yeah.
I think it's really important, and especially for people in prison, you have to spend so much, in the brief amount of time I was locked up, I've experienced some of it at least, and you're protecting yourself all the time. You have to be aware of everything you say, you do. You got to notice everything, and you got to be with that program, or bad things can happen pretty quick. And you spend a lot of energy managing, you and the outside world. not a lot of time to sit there and be loving to yourself in a cold, toxic place that doesn't have your best interest in mind. So to think
Definitely.
about that, we were talking with Megan about, affirmations and acknowledging, that in spite of it all, we have choices. So we get stuck in these victim mentalities and we go, oh, I have to, I can't, this person, that thing, it's everybody's fault but mine. And, the truth is we're here because we got ourselves here. And it's not always fair. It's not always right. And it's not always just. But at the end of the day, we're here because of choices we made and things we did. And we're going to move on to the next place also because of choices we make and things we do. So this is an opportunity, I think, to not only bring to the attention of how important these things can be, but maybe to share some tools about what we can do, little choices we can make. And I know you were talking about um, sharing some affirmations with us and to
Yes.
maybe just show the listeners what that's like. Some of us think, oh, everybody knows what that is because we've been busy trying to help ourselves for years, and affirmations are kind of a normal thing. But there's a lot of people out there who would love to learn more, but they don't know what to do. And why don't you share a little something with us?
Yeah, of course. So the affirmation I want to share today is um I just want the listeners, whether you guys come on the 30 days of self-compassion journey with us or not, just hold this with you. And maybe when times get hard or if you remember it, it's very simple. But I just want the listeners to hear this. So I am altogether beautiful and there is no flaw in me. And just those two sentences, they're very powerful. One, you're telling yourself you're altogether beautiful, and that means every part of you is beautiful. And two, there's no flaw in you. And just always remember there's no flaw in you. Nobody's perfect. We're all human. And God, He says there's no flaw in us.
That's so true.
So,
So true. A lot of times we spend our time looking at these imperfections or things that don't fit our version of perfect. But truth is, we don't know perfect. We could never know perfect because we're human. And that's the beauty of it. We're beautiful in our imperfection and we're perfect in our imperfection. And so once you can understand that and appreciate it, it's so liberating because you realize, you're no better or worse than anybody. We're all in the same process. We're all somewhere between, something less than human and something more than human. And we're all just working our way through it. And it takes form in every possible way, just like all the differences. We're tall, we're short, we're skinny, we're large, we're dark, we're light, we're two eyes. Sometimes we got one eye. We have every kind of possible difference. And what's to say the one that's closest to God, right? We'll never,
definitely.
we won't know that till our time comes. And I think it's really the light that's inside of us. That's the part that's close to God. And that's the part that we all have. And so that's beautiful. I really like that testimonial. Well, let's talk a little bit about, this program and the products and things, because I don't talk a lot about my company on this podcast, although I thought about it and there's no reason why I wouldn't. It's a
Right.
it's a really great company. We make great products and they all have to do with health and healthy living. And I've been running this business for almost 25 years now. My wife and I, we develop, we formulate, we grow the ingredients for many of the products. We put them all together in a handcrafted way. Put a lot of love and caring into them. And these are products that we make for ourselves. This is my medicine chest. I don't use pharmaceuticals. Uh, and unless there's no other possible answer. And I, with this cancer, I've had to go down some of that road, but before that, I hadn't been to a doctor in 20 years. I didn't need to. Anything goes wrong, I've got a natural answer for it. And skincare, I think, is another huge piece of that. Our skin is indicative of our health. And I always tell people, when they come to me for consultations and things, I always say, well, pinch your skin together and let it go and see what happens. And most people, when you do that, your skin will like stay together for a second because it's telling you you're a little dehydrated. And that's just one of the little indicators that say, hey, maybe you can work on that a little bit. And people don't realize your skin is your largest organ. You absorb everything that touches your skin goes inside your body. You collect vitamin D from the sun. It keeps out all of the things trying to attack you. I mean, your skin is the most amazing thing, and most of us just ignore it, abuse it, don't take care of it, or we put products that have chemicals and things. So my wife was actually in an accident when she was a teenager and crushed her face. And she's had to have a bone implant in her front jaw. She lost a bunch of teeth. She has nerve damage in her face, and it's a lifetime. You wouldn't know it. She's gorgeous, but they put her back together, and but she has this suffering, and she's super sensitive to all chemicals. And it was because of that she actually got the idea to come up with our first healing salve. And it worked so well for her that she started expanding. And I've been formulating for 40 years, so I quickly jumped in and started making some things. And we worked together, and now we've got this great product line, and we're really good at that part of it. But we're not a marketing company. We're actually terrible business people. And so we've always just let the products kind of do the work on their own. And my aunt uses and loves the products. It's all been word of mouth. And I think Jay heard about them and said, hey, can you send some samples over to you? We sent some samples over to you. I'm always looking for somebody that, can try them out. And I didn't sell them to you. I said, try it. Tell me what you think. If you like it, you'll come back. If not, well, then, I didn't waste your money.
Yeah.
And that's just all I've ever done. And then subsequently, you've come around and said, I think we got something we can work with. And I've always set it up to where, if you want to start a business, I only do wholesale. So anybody can buy my products and resell them and make some money at it. I think everybody should be able to benefit. But then all of a sudden, you approached me about this project. And that's the other part of this company is we've always supported nonprofits. We've worked with schools. We've worked with a bunch of different nonprofits over the years and helped them with fundraising. And it's just kind of like my tithe. Sometimes people will tithe to the church or whatever and just give them money. I work with the people one-on-one. And if somebody's willing to get out there and do a project that is going to help people, then let me come and help you do that. So we donated some products to match some of the things that you guys originally connected with. And so now we have more to offer. And so why don't you tell us a little bit about how this works?
Yes, and we are so thankful again, and your products are amazing. I've been into the holistic healing as well, just like you, for a very long time, and all of your ingredients, I'm like, wow, yes, like they're all. I was telling like Jay Wells, and he was like, oh, okay, like he doesn't know anything about it. And I'm like, yes, these ingredients are like top tier. And I did my research. I looked at other ones. I was like, and it's funny, like how you said, like all of these chemical filled like products, and they say that they're not, and then you look
Right.
at their ingredients and they are.
Yeah. You got to
So
look
I love that
carefully.
you are definitely genuine with what you guys do, and it's all just fresh and authentic and definitely holistic healing. So it could help anybody. and it's not going to
Absolutely.
bring any damage to anybody. But yeah, so our 30 days of self-compassion, really, we want to start these next 30 days just to really kickstart and empower and inspire people to show themselves self-compassion all year round, every single day for the rest of their lives. Because like you mentioned as well, we really have to fill our cup as well, instead of just giving other people, because then we're going to be left with an empty cup. We can't expect anybody to fill our cup. Um, that's just a choice, to give other people like some of your cup, but a priority definitely should be showing yourself love and compassion. So it is going to start this Friday, August 22nd, and we're going to carry it on to September 20th. And how it's going to start, we're just going to, on our social media pages, we're going to follow along with our 30-day self-love calendar, and we're going to give tips, and we're just going to do it, and we're going to invite people to do it with us so that they can really just kickstart and practice doing it, and then eventually they keep doing it on their own.
Nice.
Because I know it's hard to remember and do it on your own, but it's just simple things, like cry if you need to, or journal about your feelings. And we have on our self-love calendar 30 days, we have mental, emotional, and physical. So they're
Beautiful.
all 10 days each. My
Nice.
favorite is day 12, which is practice forgiveness for yourself and others. And that is so important because a lot of people, they hold on, and they don't forgive like others and especially themselves. And it really holds you hold baggage with that. So
That's one of
that's
the most
something.
powerful tools, forgiveness. Jesus taught about forgiveness, and a lot of times I think we take it all wrong. Like, forgiveness it heals us more, I think, than it heals the person you forgive, and we hold on to so much stress and anxiety over these things that we could let go by forgiving, and especially ourselves. I've learned to forgive myself for things I did, when I was a kid, and you don't realize that, some part of you still holding on to that, with a little guilt or a little, you need to be punished or whatever it is. And so I couldn't agree more. That's a very, very powerful tool.
Yes. And so we're going to be focusing on our three bundles, which is the gift of compassion. That includes 5 different products. And then we have the compassion care pack, which that is the massage oils. And then we have the soul and skin starter kit, which is the luxurious sugar scrubs, which
Oh
they
yeah.
are amazing. They smell amazing. They feel amazing. I love them. I love scrubs. There's something very simple just to implement in your daily routine or weekly routine. And they really they make you feel a lot better. The
Oh yeah.
smell is amazing, and just the feel and just everything, the application. So we do just want to encourage people to get their bundles. You can go to Herbs We Love. You can reach out to us on our social media at Herbs We Love. We have an Instagram and a Facebook. The bundles are on there. So we want to just encourage people get their bundles. Follow the 30 day self-love calendar with us, and each bundle will come with a 30 days compassion pledge, which I'll go over shortly, the 30 days of self-love calendar, and a certificate of self-love, just to remind people and empower people and inspire them that they are loved, and just to know that they're enough just the way that they are. It's very beautiful. I think it's a beautiful touch, and it's all wrapped beautifully inside the 30 days of compassion gift bag. um so yeah, I think it's amazing. We do have one customer that purchased hers already, and she left a great review. She got the gift of compassion, and I would like to go over her review.
Yeah.
She said, I was delighted to receive my gift of compassion from me to me. It arrived exactly when I needed it. The quality and care put into every single item was evident, from the packaging to the products themselves. I love the 30-day challenge and how easy it's laid out. for practicing a specific skill of self-compassion. Do yourself a favor.
Oh, you locked out again. Dang it. Hang on, I'm going to pause this again. Oh.
So do yourself a favor and make yourself a priority so you can continue to show up and service and love those around you. I didn't even realize how badly I needed this. And thank you, Christine, for joining us and supporting us and leaving that amazing comment and review just to show people your experience with the products and the packaging. And she loved everything. So
That's
I'm very
beautiful.
happy.
And that's
Yes.
kind of cool because she doesn't know anything about us. It's, like a lot of times people have come to us because they know us and they support what we do because they know who we are. And so they automatically like already have kind of a, well, we're going to love this already. And they do. But when somebody who doesn't have any expectation, doesn't know anything about it, they just receive this cold and that was their reaction. That's beautiful.
Definitely. Yeah. We were really happy.
And that's a great way to start since it even hasn't even started yet, right?
Yes.
That's beautiful. So let's it looks like Friday we're going to be launching. That's in 2 days. And
Yes, sir.
you're going to be posting on social media. You're going to be tagging Willow Creek Springs and collaborate. So we'll be able to share all this stuff as well. And really, I think at this moment, aside from participating, donating, and sharing these packages and participating in this 30 days of self-compassion, I think the most important thing people can do is to let other people know about it because we don't have a big budget for marketing. We're not putting out big ads. We're not doing this is all grassroots, and it has the ability to really help a lot of people, including yourselves. And I think that's the most important part. Everybody that, if all you're doing is saying, I just want to do a little something nice for me, well, it's going to turn around and help a lot of other people at the same time. If you think you want to just help a lot of other people, well, it's going to end up being really nice to you at the same time. So either way, everybody wins.
Definitely. Yes, we want to encourage people to not only like get these packages and bundles for themselves, but use them as gifts. Holiday season's coming up, birthdays, even if you're just thinking about somebody and want to inspire them. Gifts, buy it for somebody you love and you want to inspire them to show themselves more self-compassion, yourself, and just others, random people, maybe even as well. Um, so yeah, and when you get your package, we would love to see it in action. If you take a video, a picture, tag us at Herbs We Love, Willow Creek Springs. We want to see how you love the products, the packaging, just everything. Um, so yeah.
No, I think that that's fantastic. And, Adna, you impressed me a lot. For such a young woman, you're out there just doing a lot of good. And a lot of times, people wait till they get old like me before they start making a difference in the world. And it's really inspiring. I've been working with a lot of youngsters lately that are out there doing the good work. So that's another reason that I'm really supportive, and I'm really proud to be a part of this because it's not just me carrying something for once in my life.
Yeah.
So
No,
I'm
yeah, definitely. We have to be the change we want to see in the world, like
so
Gandhi
true.
said.
Yeah, so true.
Yes,
And it's easy for people to say that. It's another thing to live it, and
definitely.
that's what this is all about. So we're going to continue to support this effort, and I'm looking forward to working with. Apparently, we have some other folks that are part of other prison outreach type programs that we'll be bringing into the show and discussing their work. And I believe this community that we're building through the podcast is really growing in layers, different ways, from a lot of the indigenous and plant medicine world to, the self healing world. And now we're stepping inside of the world of incarceration and trauma. And I really think it's really starting to build a worthy community that transcends all of these things. And like I say to a lot of guests, this is a project that's going to be going on for 30 days, and then it's going to go on for another 30 days under another angle. And so we'll have you back as we need to talk about the progress of this, and to keep it in light. And you're going to be sharing some flyers and updated information that will, I think I'll be able to include that in even into the show notes, where I have a few little things that every episode features. I think I can bring some of that down into that, or at least a link. So we'll be featuring that information on the podcast as we go. This is the part where I'd like to give you a chance to once again give all your contact, how people can find you and connect to this.
Yes, of course. So we are on Instagram at Herbs We Love, or Facebook as well. We have an email connected on there, which is connectwithanherbalist@outlook.com. Lastly, I would just like to go over, I know people may not know what compassion is, the importance of it, or how they could do it. And maybe they don't want to purchase a bundle, or they don't have the money to. So I do just want to go over our 30 days of compassion pledge, if I could, with you guys.
Absolutely.
So our 30 days of compassion pledge reads, I pledge to show myself compassion every day for the next 30 days. I will give myself the care, patience, and kindness I so often give to others. I understand that in order to truly care for those around me, I must first take care of myself. I commit to putting my well-being first without guilt, speaking to myself with love instead of criticism, listening to my needs, mind, body, and spirit. This is not selfish. This is sacred. This is self-compassion. And I hope that just helps people understand the importance of self-compassion, what it is, and how you can practice it every day. Thank you so much for opening up your podcast to us and just supporting us through everything. You've really been a big support and help to us, and we just really appreciate it and love it.
Well, it's my pleasure. And again, you're earning it. So I believe that together we're going to make a difference out there. And I suspect this is the first of many projects like this. So Adonai, it's been an absolute pleasure. And I want to thank all the listeners. And I know that you guys are going to support this project. So ahead of time, I'm going to thank you for that. And Adonai, we're going to have you on, in a few weeks, and we'll go over where we're at, maybe close to the halfway point, and we'll get back into it. But pay attention. We're going to be sharing information and graphics and things on the Willow Creek Springs site. And I want to thank everybody that supported the podcast, and we will see you next time. This has been another episode of the Healthy Living Podcast. We produce this show so that people can share their stories, people that have overcome obstacles, people that are undergoing obstacles. We're building a community of health-minded individuals. If you're interested in supporting the show, please leave a review on the platform you're listening to it on. If you're interested in becoming a guest, please send an email to itsjoegrumbine@gmail.com, or you can send a note into the notes section of the podcast. All right. Well, thank you for supporting this show, and we hope you've enjoyed it.